Do you feel that heavy, sluggish bloat immediately after you eat a sandwich? I'm not talking about being full. I mean that systemic fog that rolls over your brain, the sudden spike in your heart rate, and that distended, hard stomach that makes you want to unbutton your pants. Is that the reality you face every time you walk past a bakery? Listen closely, because that reaction isn't just a sensitivity. It is a bright red warning sign that your metabolic system is rejecting the inflammatory, high glycemic glue known as modern wheat flour. When you consume standard white bread, or even that so-called healthy whole wheat, you are spiking your insulin to dangerous levels, promoting visceral fat storage, and lining your gut with gluten, a protein that, for many, acts like sandpaper on your intestinal walls. You are fundamentally damaging your digestive architecture. You've likely tried every standard alternative, the cardboard-tasting gluten-free loaves, the lettuce wraps that fall apart, or simply starving yourself of carbohydrates entirely. And yet, the craving persists. Why? Because you are missing the fundamental textural component that signals satiety to your brain. You are missing the Lentil Matrix Protocol. I am giving you the definitive, step-by-step bread replacement that doesn't just mimic the texture of bread, but actively and forcefully repairs your system while you eat it. We are going to systematically break down anti-nutrients, activate enzymes, and construct a loaf that is pure, bioavailable protein and fiber. When you pull this out of the oven, it will be golden, crispy, and structurally sound enough to hold your favorite toppings. This protocol addresses the root cause, nutrient void calorie density. And please pay special attention to this. Step number 6 involves a specific hydrophilic binder that specialists use to regulate blood sugar and cholesterol. Do not skip it. We start now with the raw material. The standard advice to simply buy gluten-free flour is inadequate. Most commercial blends are filled with potato starch and rice flour, which spike your blood sugar just as fast as sugar. We need a complex carbohydrate with a low glycemic index. We need red lentils, specifically 3/4 of a cup, or exactly 160 grams. Lentils are the powerhouse of the legume family, but in their raw state, they are coated in phytic acid, an anti-nutrient that blocks mineral absorption. Therefore, we are executing a hydration flush. You must rinse these lentils thoroughly. Then, you soak them. This isn't just to soften them. This is to initiate the germination process, waking up the enzymes inside the seed and stripping away that defensive phytic acid layer. Once soaked for at least 3 to 4 hours, or ideally overnight, you will drain them. Do not use the soaking water. That water is now full of the toxins we just extracted. Discard it. Now, we move to the mechanical breakdown. We need to pulverize these hydrated lentils into a smooth, creamy emulsion. Place your drained lentils into a high-speed blender or a food processor. We are not making soup here. We are creating a dough matrix. To facilitate this, add exactly 1 glass of water. This ratio is critical. Too much water, and the structure collapses. Too little, and it becomes a brick. Blend this until it is absolutely smooth. There should be no grit, no lumps. It should look like a thick, pale orange cream. This is your base. But a base is nothing without a binder. In traditional bread, gluten is the glue. It holds the gas bubbles in. Since we have eliminated the inflammatory gluten, we must replace it with a superior medicinal-grade binder. We are using psyllium husk. You need 40 grams of whole psyllium seeds, or husks. Psyllium is a soluble fiber powerhouse. When it hits the liquid in your system, or in this dough, it forms a gel-like mucilage. This gel mimics the elasticity of gluten without the inflammation. It acts as a broom for your colon, sweeping out waste and regulating your cholesterol. This is the structural fix of the recipe. However, psyllium alone is dense. We need to lighten the matrix. We need a lift agent. This brings us to the chemical activation phase. You will add 2 large eggs. The eggs provide the albumin protein structure that traps air, and the lecithin in the yolk acts as an emulsifier, binding the fat and water together. If you are vegan, you can use a flax egg, but for the ultimate rise, albumin is superior. Now, we introduce the catalyst. 1 tablespoon of olive oil. Do not use inflammatory seed oils like canola or vegetable oil. We want high-quality, polyphenol-rich olive oil to lubricate the crumb and provide healthy monounsaturated fats. Next, the flavor and preservation profile. Add a generous pinch of salt. Salt isn't just for taste. It strengthens the protein mesh we are building. But we need more lift. We need to create carbon dioxide bubbles within this heavy lentil paste. For this, we use a two-part reaction. First, 1 teaspoon of baking powder. Second, and this is the secret weapon, 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. Why vinegar? The acetic acid in the vinegar reacts instantly with the base in the baking powder. This creates a rapid expansion of gas, aerating the heavy lentil puree. It also helps to break down the starches in the lentils, making them even easier to digest. This is applied food chemistry. Mix this thoroughly. You cannot simply stir it lazily. You need to agitate the mixture to ensure the psyllium hydrates evenly. Once mixed, you must let it rest. This is the hydration window. Let it sit for 10 to 15 minutes. During this time, the psyllium is drinking up that excess moisture, transforming the batter from a liquid soup into a malleable, shapeable dough. If you skip this wait, your bread will be wet and gummy. The dough must swell. While the chemistry is working, we add the micronutrient density. We are not just making white bread. We are making a mineral supplement. Add 30 grams of pumpkin seeds and 30 grams of sunflower seeds. Pumpkin seeds are one of the best natural sources of magnesium and zinc, minerals your immune system is desperate for. Sunflower seeds provide vitamin E, a potent antioxidant for skin health. You can mix these into the dough or save some for the crust. I prefer to incorporate them to ensure every bite has that crunch and nutrient profile. By now, your dough has swollen. It should feel firm, almost like a traditional wheat dough. This is the moment of truth. Knead it slightly in the bowl to ensure uniformity. Now, prepare your vessel. You need a standard loaf pan or a bread pan. Do not trust non-stick coatings. Grease the pan aggressively with a little more olive oil or line it with parchment paper. We want a clean release. Transfer your lentil dough into the pan. Here is the technique for the perfect crust. You cannot just dump it in. You must press it down firmly to eliminate large air pockets that could cause the loaf to collapse. Then smooth the top with a wet spatula or oiled hands. I grease the top with a tiny bit more vegetable or olive oil. This oil layer will conduct heat in the oven, frying the top crust to a golden brown. To control the expansion, take a sharp knife and make an incision, a slash, down the center of the loaf. This acts as a vent. As the steam builds up inside the dense lentil matrix, it needs an escape route. If you don't cut this vent, the bread will blow out the sides or crack unevenly. This incision guides the oven spring. For the final aesthetic and nutritional touch, sprinkle a bit of sesame seeds on top. Sesame seeds are high in calcium and add a beautiful, nutty aroma when toasted. Now, the thermal shock. Your oven must be preheated to 180 degrees Celsius. Place the pan in the center of the oven. This is a slow bake. Because lentils hold moisture differently than flour, we need a long, steady heat to drive the water out and set the structure. Bake for 50 to 60 minutes. Do not open the oven door for the first 40 minutes. If you open the door, the temperature drops, the steam escapes, and your loaf will deflate like a sad balloon. After 50 minutes, check it. The top should be a deep, rich brown, and it should sound hollow when you tap it. If it's soft, it needs more time. When it is ready, remove it from the oven. This next step is where amateurs fail. You will be tempted to slice into it immediately because it smells incredible. Do not do it. If you cut hot lentil bread, the steam escapes too fast, the starches haven't retrograde, and the crumb will turn into a gummy mash. You must let it cool completely on a wire rack. This cooling period is actually the final stage of cooking. The structure is setting. Once cooled, slice it. Look at that crumb. It is tight, uniform, and moist, but structurally sound. This is bread that actually feeds your muscles, not your fat cells. This bread is versatile. It is very tasty and healthy on its own, but it serves as the perfect vehicle for avocado, grass-fed butter, or poached eggs. Furthermore, if you somehow don't finish the loaf, very good breadcrumbs can be made from this bread. Simply cut it into slices, dry them in the oven at a low temperature until they are rock hard, and grind them. You now have a high-protein, gluten-free breadcrumb coating for your chicken or fish. It has worked out. You have successfully transmuted 160 grams of simple legumes into a dietary staple that supports your vascular and metabolic health. Let's review the mechanism. We removed the inflammatory wheat. We replaced it with slow-burning lentil protein. We replaced the gluten glue with gut-healing psyllium fiber. We activated the rise with an acid-base reaction using vinegar, and we fortified the fat profile with seeds and olive oil. This is the difference between eating to fill a hole and eating to fuel a machine. You are building a body that is resistant to inflammation. Thanks for watching, commenting, and liking. But before you go to the kitchen, you need to understand that bread is only one part of the equation. If you are pairing this healthy bread with the wrong beverages, you are undoing all the good work. You need to know the 3 morning drinks that are silently spiking your cortisol and ruining your gut lining. I break those down in my next video. That is the critical next step in achieving total metabolic control. Click there now.